Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. The statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj at Sindhudurg collapsed on August 26th, and this sparked a political row ahead of the assembly elections. Now, late last evening, the sculptor and the contractor of the statue, Jaydeep Apte, was arrested, and this was just hours after Union Minister Nitin Gadkari made an interesting statement, and he was speaking at a function at IFI in Delhi. And he said that this particular statue would have weathered the rough conditions if it was made of stainless steel. Now, he was basically hinting that the right construction material was not used. And the moment he made this statement, this particular clip went viral. And this left people wondering as to why Nitin Gadkari made a statement like that. And people started politically analyzing that is there a political messaging for the central leadership of the BJP as well as Eknath Shinde? Uh, and why did he make a statement at a time when BJP is trying to damage control this whole controversy around the statue collapse? Joining me now is Krishna Hegde, who's the spokesperson of the Eknath Shinde government. We have Vivek Deshpande, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. We have Pushpraj Deshpande, who's the author of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is a book which he wrote, and he's also working closely with the India Alliance. Thank you so much, Pushpraj, for joining. And I'll begin with Mr. Krishna Hegde. Mr. Hegde, why do you think Mr. Gadkari made a statement like that?
Niluji, Mr. Gadkari is a very senior minister and also a very senior leader of our coalition, one of the top leaders for sure. And since he's been in, public works department and he's been constructing highways, roads and bridges, I think ever since the Sena-BJP government, which came in the first time in 1995, I'm sure that no one would know materials as better than him. So he just has made a remark. I don't think there is any messaging on that. And what he says possibly is true, but we have to go through the work order to see exactly what kind of material was prescribed in the work order, what was the specifications. And over that, we have appointed a joint technical committee led by the Navy, headed by the Navy, and all technical experts and other representatives from other spheres to ascertain what went wrong. And also, not only that, but this committee will also look at
No, but Mr.
oversee
Hegde,
the.
Mr. Hegde, I know you will not agree with what I'm to say, but the timing of this statement coming as it does, during the election time, there's already so much of controversy around the statue collapse, and then you have your own union minister saying that the right construction material was not used. So is he trying to show the mirror to the Eknath Shinde government? Is he trying to say that the right construction material was not used? And you are saying that there is no messaging in his statement. How would the opposition read? How would the political analyst read?
Niluji, it is like this that now like I said, we have formed a joint technical committee headed by the Navy, and other people, and not only to see what went wrong there, but also oversee the building and erection of a magnificent and glorious new statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So I think his suggestion is very welcome. He's an experienced minister. So if he's saying that in the future days when we are making another statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, then we should use steel instead of what was done earlier. Possibly that is a very positive messaging, and we have to look at the positive messaging more than any other, reading between the lines.
No, but positive messaging is fine. But as a journalist and as what political analysts would ask you definitely is the fact that this is in the public domain. How Jaydeep Apte got the tender? People say that he was very close to Shrikant Shinde, and that's the reason he backed the tender. Now, why was the tender given to a person who wasn't experienced enough to erect a statue? That is the first question. The contract was given to a person who was not competent enough.
See, firstly, let me tell you that Jaydeep Apte is not connected to Dr. Shrikant Shinde. In our public life, we meet several people all the time. If there is a particular photo with anybody, that does not mean a person is a close friend or a colleague. Jaideep Apte has constructed and erected a few statues in the past, and so has Chetan Patil possibly, maybe a couple of them. But uh, you know, uh, now whatever mishap has happened, unfortunately happened, and we are all sorry. The statue of Pratima of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was given as it was commissioned by the Indian Navy and inaugurated on Navy Day by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and the state's contribution was 2.5 crores. And then there was another beautification program there, the event and two helipads. The total cost of the entire project was 5 crores. Somewhere we read and saw in the news that this project cost 3,700 crores. So there was nothing like that. That was just someone floating a rumor, and many people fell for it. But let me tell you that uh, we are not shying away from the fact 2 crores is also public money, and the collapsing of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj statue is something which we cannot even think
So,
or
Hekde,
dream of.
would you not agree that you've got to answer a lot in the eyes of the people? Chhatrapati
Of
Shivaji,
course,
almost like a god
oh,
in
totally,
Maharashtra.
totally,
His statue
totally. We
You
had
said
to
you feel
answer.
sorry. Just hear me out, sir. You said you feel
Yeah.
sorry. Eknath Shinde says he feels sorry. Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to Palghar and he said he feels sorry. But how will the justice be done to the wrong which has already been done? And the political ground is slipping beneath your feet.
Niluji, it is like this that the wrong had been done. We all apologize for the same, but we are not shying away from two facts. One, we are not blaming the Indian Navy because we know that they, guard our shores, the seafront, and we don't, blame any of the defense forces because we are proud nationalists and we know what they do for our country. Secondly, this statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was not, felled on purpose. It fell by mistake, and it was a grave mistake for which we all apologized. But if you look at the Congress ruled states, whether it's Chinwada in Madhya Pradesh, where they uprooted Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's Pratima with the bulldozer, or in Bagalkot, or in Belgaum, or in Bangalore, these things were done on purpose by activists in those areas. And therefore, there's a huge difference between what happened here and what happened there. If anyone is protesting against us here, then Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is not only a god in Maharashtra, but he's also a god in Karnataka, in Madhya Pradesh, and all over India and all over the world. So wherever something like this is done, those people should protest everywhere. But it was a double-faced policy to protest here of a statue that fell down by mistake, and there to join hands with people who
All right.
deliberately felled the statue and be in alliance with them and
No,
not
now
say anything against them.
Pushparaj here. Let me get in Pushparaj here. You are saying that it was a double-faced protest. Pushparaj, I'll come to you now. That are these double standards being played by the opposition? Can you just mute yourself? I think there's some echo at your end. Vivek, just mute yourself. There's some echo at your end. Yeah. So Pushparaj, what I was saying that Mr. Jigde has accused the opposition of having double standards when it comes to protests. What would you really say?
Hi, Niluji. Thank you for having me on your show. Uh, See, I don't want to indulge in whataboutery. One right doesn't make two wrongs, and one wrong doesn't make two rights. Two wrongs don't make one right. My basic issue here is one is that let's address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that the Prime Minister of this country rushed through a major construction of a national icon in less than 6 months when industry standards recommend that it should be at least 2 to 3 years. Now, obviously, we all know, I mean, no one is a fool here. We all know that this happened because he wanted to milk legacy and memory of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj for his electoral benefits. And the fact of the matter is, he must take accountability for something that he forced upon the Mahayuti government. That's the first thing. And you cannot keep deflecting attention from himself. He can't come to Maharashtra and pretend as if he's a neutral umpire. He's not. He's an equal party. He's complicit and he's equally culpable in this entire episode. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the Mahayuti government is now making a scapegoat of the sculptor and the structural engineer. Did the sculptor and the sculptural engineer, were they the ones who issued the tender? were they the ones who were responsible for actually selecting materials, for financing the projects, for making sure that they are the ones who were selected, or making sure that the integrity of the entire structure was this thing? No. Even the technical advisory committee, the joint technical advisor council that has been established, does not have the remit. The mandate of that committee is not to look into political decisions. It is to look into what went wrong with the structural integrity of the sculpture. But here we are looking at the political issue. Who and what, who and when did, who sanctioned this structure? When did they sanction this structure? When was this rushed through? When was the decision made to rush this structure through? Now, the Art Directorate's director, Mr. Rajiv Mishra of the Maharashtra government, says that he was not even informed of the government's decision to make a 35-feet sculpture. In fact, he gave permission, which is a May 2017 GR from the Mahayuti government, clearly expressly mandates that they have to take permission for erecting a memorial or a major sculpture. Now, they gave permission for a 6-foot sculpture, and that too in clay. Now, one can argue that this is a representative model, but what about the allegation? What about his assertion that he did not know, or the director did not know anything about the 35-foot sculpture? That's the second part. The third thing, which is the largest issue here, which obviously we are skirting over, the Honorable Union Minister Gadkari ji's statement points to rifts within the BJP. And that is something that has played out during the Lok Sabha election. This is going to play out in this election also, in the assembly election. We know for a fact that Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah ji have prioritized personal loyalty over everything else, over organizational capacity or ideological clarity, and hence pushed through people who are loyal to them. Now, I don't see a BJP spokesperson on your panel, but I would love to hear from a BJP spokesperson, because everyone else, including their alliance partners, do not have the locus standi to comment on what is exactly happening inside the BJP. The fact of the matter is, there is widely reported rifts between Yogi Adityanath and the Prime Minister, between Gadkari ji and the Prime Minister, between other Yedurappa ji and the Prime Minister, between Shivraj Chauhan ji and the Prime Minister, between Vasundhara Raje ji and the Prime Minister. These rifts are playing out time and again. And the other part, which is the rifts between the RSS itself. The moderate faction of the RSS is also very unhappy about the way the BJP is conducting itself under Prime Minister Modi. And they have been flexing themselves over the last few months. Now, I don't know, but look at the facts. Ask your viewers to look at the facts. The last few months, since this government has come in, they have taken a U-turn on the capital gains tax, on the Waqf Amendment Bill, on the broadcast bill, on a number of other issues. They have taken a U-turn. Now, I cannot make the assertion that this is only because one could argue that this is because policy paralysis has set in. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Ye bhi ho sakta hai. But isn't it also equally likely, and this is something that the BJP should be answering, that the moderate faction and the RSS within the BJP is forcing them to take stands which they are not comfortable with anymore? So these are the three big issues here. And
Yes.
I wanted to respond to one your earlier question as to what about, I said that I won't resort to whataboutery, and I stand by that. But what about, I'm from Maharashtra in Kolhapur, and Shivaji Maharaj is revered as a god, as the honorable spokesperson from the Shinde factions also said. Now, I don't think that it is kosher for any human being to wear a god's garment, right? A living god's garment. Here, I know for a fact that a member of their alliance from the NCP, or Ajit Pawar faction, placed Shivaji Maharaj's mukut, his feta, on the Prime Minister. That was not an accident. That was thought through and put in. Are you now claiming to be an equivalent of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, of a god? Is that not a deliberate insult? I mean, let's keep the attention to where it belongs. It is on what the BJP does and doesn't do, what the Mahayuti government does and doesn't do. You can point fingers to the Congress. Congress has not been in government. NCP has not been in government for a long time.
All right. Yeah. I'll come to you, Mr. Hegde, but I want to come to Vivek Deshpande first, and then I'll come to you. That Vivek, coming back to Nitin Gadkari's statement. Now, everybody is wondering that what did he do yesterday, or what did he gain by making a statement like that? He was speaking at a function at FICCI in Delhi. He could have refrained easily from making a statement. It wasn't a function where it was mandatory for him to talk about Shivaji statue, but he did so, and it was by choice. It was a deliberate choice of him to speak about this statue, and very cleverly he did that. Now, the political messaging behind this, what do you think was that? Was he trying to show a mirror to Modi and Eknath Shinde? Was he trying to point out that his own government is indulging in corruption? So please don't point fingers at me, because there were a lot of fingers pointed at him as well. There was a CAG report which pointed out to the infrastructure, the gaping loopholes which were pointed out in the infrastructure. So is he trying to show Modi and Eknath Shinde the same mirror?
You're right when you said that Mr. Nitin Gadkari need not have spoken out about the Shivaji statue at the function where he was speaking. He could have very easily avoided, but he made it a point to talk about it and to expose the reasons behind that statue actually falling down. Now, as I know, there were warnings given 3 or 4 days prior to the statue falling. That was a story which I read in Indian Express. Warnings were issued, and yet nothing was done to salvage the situation. So they clearly, in the first place, they have given this work to someone who, as Mr. Hegde possibly suggests, is known to be making statues previously, but then I don't know whether he has been an expert in making use and throw kind of statues, because this statue did not last for more than a few months. So he was not clearly an expert. He's a young guy. I mean, of course, being young doesn't disqualify anyone, provided he's experienced enough to make such statues. But obviously, he's not. If he were to be an expert, this situation would not have arisen. Now, Mr. Gadkari made it a point to bring out the point that the statue went down because they used iron instead of stainless steel, and because the statue was situated close to the sea, you know, there would be, I mean, the kind of humid air that flows there would certainly affect iron if you use the iron in its raw form there. So you have to use the stainless steel. So he clearly made out his point in terms of the structural ingredients that were required for in the making of the statue. Perhaps stainless steel was not used, or whether it was used or not, that inquiry will find out. But the most curious point is this Jaydeep Apte fellow has been missing. I mean, he's absconding, and you hear the various statements by the ruling party leaders. None of them has said that we will fix the responsibility and we will punish the guilty. We will punish the guilty. These are not the words which I have seen anywhere coming from the top leaders. So where is this guy? Is he a hardened criminal? How can he remain away from the clutches of the police for so long? I mean, is he trained in avoiding police? If he is trained in avoiding police, he must be a criminal. An ordinary person cannot remain away from police for such a long time. Somebody is helping him hide. Who is that fellow? I mean, more than that Jaydeep Apte, there are culprits in this government who are trying to hide that fellow. Where is he? And what is one of the world's best police doing? Today only, I read a piece by a former cop, how they worked out the investigation in the IC 814 hijack case. Now, if this is one of the most competent police in the world, then what is it doing? An ordinary sculptor is not being found. Who are you trying to fool? You are hiding him somewhere. Somebody is hiding him somewhere. Please don't try to fool the people. People know you very well. So catch him immediately and punish him, because he is responsible. They are not doing that because they are implicit. They are complicit in this whole crime of making a very fragile Shivaji statue there.
Vivich, Pushparaj was making the point of rift within the Maharashtra state leadership. And Gadkari apparently has made a statement, and he doesn't want to be part of this entire political maneuvering which is happening in Maharashtra. He completely distanced himself now by making a statement like this, that I'm completely out of this.
Who? The Gadkari?
Yes.
No, Gadkari is in the habit of making a statement after he makes some very, loaded statement. Then immediately after that, he clarifies that he did not mean that, and then he blames it on the media. That is a very usual practice that Mr. Gadkari is known to be adopting. So let him say whatever he says now. But the fact that he could have avoided making mention of that statue in his speech clearly shows that he did it with intention. He did it purposely, and the idea behind it was to expose these people.
No, so
We know the whole.
basically, in two lines, so he was trying to needle the controversy further. He was trying to hot up the issue further, right?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, absolutely.
all right, all
Because it
right.
was
Now let
avoidable on his part. Because he
so,
belongs to the BJP, such a senior leader, he could have
yes,
easily avoided speaking about it. As you know,
absolutely.
as till such time as the inquiry is done and somebody is nailed for the kind of faults that have gone behind making of such a statue. So Mr. Gadkari deliberately, intently said that, and he has been saying such things for a long time on many
Hmm.
issues. He has said spoken out in this fashion, and every time then he comes out and says कि मेरे कहने का कुछ गलत मतलब निकाल लिया मीडिया इज टू ब्लेम मीडिया मेरे नाम से बिल फाड़ता है आई मीन दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ स्टेटमेंट दैट मिस्टर गडकरी इज नोन टू बी मेकिंग एंड दिस टाइम राउंड also he if he has said that I am not surprised but the idea behind what he said was certainly to expose the people of his own party and because this is
Right,
not the way statues are made. We have
right.
seen statues being pulled down, but we have never seen a statue falling down. We have seen it only in case of BJP's rule. We have seen it in Ujjain, and now we have seen it in Mumbai.
Hmm.
So
All
there are
right,
no other examples of statues falling down on their own immediately a
right.
few months after being made.
Right. Right. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Hegde, you might not say that, there was, you might say that there's no political messaging in what Gadkari said, but don't you think that Gadkari is muddying the waters further for BJP and the Eknath Shinde government? He could have easily avoided that statement, but he's damaging the party. He's damaging the prospects of BJP and the Mahayuti government by making a statement like that. Would you not agree? And obviously, the opposition will get a political handle.
Nilu. Sorry, Mr.
No, no,
Hegde, sorry.
Mr.
Please,
Hegde.
yeah,
Yeah,
please don't blame Mr. Gadkari for spoiling the party's prospects. These people have those who gave the orders for the statue, those who gave the contract for the statue, they have
no,
spoiled,
no,
not Mr. Gadkari.
no. I'm speaking from the point of view of what Mr. Hegde might think, and his party might think, and what Mahayuti government would think. So that is why I posed that question to him. That Mr. Hegde, don't you think that Nitin Gadkari has damaged, by making a statement like that, damaged the prospects of Mahayuti? Especially look at the timing where the party is struggling to damage control, and then he strikes the hammer. Yes, Mr. Hegde.
I think people in India are very much aware that this was a genuine mishap. It should not have been there. But everyone from the Honorable Prime Minister to the CM to the Deputy CM all apologize. But when it is done in Congress states and they have done it in purpose, no one is talking about it. So this is a two-faced policy. Secondly, my friend Vivek, I must humbly tell him that Jaydeep Apte has been already arrested. Even Chetan Patil has been arrested. So there is no one absconding, and there is no one, there who is away from the law. The law has picked them up, put them behind bars, and I think you should be happy that we have taken the action because you said we are hiding them. We are not hiding them; they are inside the bars. So behind bars. Thirdly, Pushparaj was saying that there is a friction between Yogi and Modi and so and so and so and so. You know, if there was so much friction, Modi ji would not be a third time prime minister. It is a consensus, and Nitin Gadkari, if there was a friction, he would not be a third time union minister in Modi ji's cabinet. So it answers your, the entire question, just the routine things. But also we hear, Pushparaj, correct me if I am wrong, that there is friction between Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi and Kharge ji and Rahul Gandhi and everybody there. So what do you have to say about that? Because you are not getting even the AICC list of secretaries in order. There was a huge tussle here in Maharashtra. You can't, you know, say who's your leader. You are a team without a captain. Here we know that we are going into the election with Eknath Shinde ji as our leader. But there, Uddhav ji actually went to Delhi to say, announce my name. And then they said no. And he threatened them, saying that, listen, if you don't announce, it will happen what happened with BJP. We'll lose. and still they are not announcing. And now they are very clear that they are not going to announce his name because his party's prospects in the recent survey are extremely poor. And people are thinking that now it is Uddhav Thackeray who's banking on the Congress minority votes, and all the
Hegde,
Hindutva votes have gone
that
with Eknath Shinde ji.
no,
That is
Mr.
also a fact.
Now, Mr. Hegde, when you start this blame game, the
No,
people
not
would
blame game.
no. You pointed fingers at Congress. So I'm saying that when you make a statement like that, people would think that you are trying to run away from the inquiry. You are trying to run away from the honest investigation, which should
No, no,
take
not
place
at all.
in the case of Shivaji
No, not
statue.
at all. See, there will be honest investigation, and like Vivek, my friend, said that they should be punished. They'll be brought to book. They have been arrested. FIRs are lodged. They are
All right,
behind bars, and the strictest action will be taken
all right,
not only on them. And I must admit here, the PWD officer who wrote the letter to the Navy that fixed the statue should have fixed the statue himself. So there should be more heads which roll. I firmly agree. There have been some people who are caught. There are other people who are yet to be caught, but they should also be caught, and strict action should be taken against all of them,
all
not
right. Now,
sparing
let
a
me
single
quick
person.
reaction from on what you said. Pushparaj will answer, and then I'll take the concluding comments from Vivek. Yes, Pushparaj, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Niluji. I'm so sorry, my battery is about to die, so I just want to make my quick comments here. See, firstly, I do want to point out the fact that this is not an isolated example. This, of course, has hurt Marathi Asmita because it's Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. As the spokesperson from the Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena said, he is revered both for his political as well as cultural, social emancipation efforts that he has put in for Maharashtra. He means much more than any other living person in Maharashtra or icon. So I understand that that is this thing, but this is not an isolated case. Look at the Atal Setu statue. Look at the number of bridges and highways. Look at the new parliament. Look at the a number of other constructions that
Atal
have happened
Setu
in
is
the
not
last.
a statue, Baba.
No, no, I said sorry.
Atal Setu.
Statues. Hey, 1 second. Just hold on. Hold
He's
khatam
talking
karne
in
do.
general. Yes.
I'm saying that look at all the works of infrastructure, not just sculptures, but public infrastructure, whether it's highways, whether it's roads, whether it's bridges, they're either leaking or collapsing. Even the new parliament building is leaking. My point is, at every level of government, in wherever BJP is there in a double engine sarkar, there is corruption. We need to acknowledge the fact that there is corruption, there is commissions, and for their icons, whenever BJP builds their memorials or builds their RSS headquarters or BJP headquarters, there's no leakage or collapses. But when it comes to public infrastructure and public icons or our national icons, there is always some commission, there is always some faults and so on and so forth. That is the first thing. Na khaunga, na khane dunga has now become kha bhi raha hu, khila bhi raha hu. That is the first issue. The second
You
issue
need to answer
is that
this.
with regard, let me
I'm
finish.
running short of
The
time, so
second
let's
thing is with
yes,
regard
let's
to with regard to Kharge ji and Rahul Gandhi and this thing Priyanka Gandhi. As far as I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Kharge ji is the leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha. He is the Congress president. Rahul Gandhi ji is the leader of the Lok Sabha. Priyanka Gandhi is the general secretary and the star campaigner for across this thing. All decisions in the Congress party, unlike the BJP, are made consensually through the CWC. And there is great respect between all of them, unless the honorable spokesperson from the Shinde faction is privy to the inner workings of the Congress party and is wanting to jump into the Congress. I think that he best leave the inner workings of the Congress party to the Congress party. बाहर की टिप्पणियां आप जरा सोशल मीडिया से बाहर निकलिए.
No, no, similarly, you should not talk about the internal working of the BJP, right? You
Are
are
you in the
saying
BJP,
Modi ka
sir?
inke saath jamta hai, then
Are you in the
are you
BJP?
privy to
Are you in the
what is
BJP,
happening
sir?
in the BJP?
Are you in the
let's come
BJP or
back.
are you wanting to
Let's
join the BJP?
all
I'm
right, all
talking
right.
about
I don't
credible
know.
information that I have as a political
Arey, I'm
observer.
a spokesperson for the Mahavikas Agadi,
Okay,
Baba,
Yes, but
Mr.
for the
not the BJP
Mahayuti.
government, not the BJP in the
Okay,
center,
calm down. Calm
or
down.
the
I don't want
BJP
to make this
party.
debate into a Congress versus BJP or a Congress versus Mahayuvati. Let's not do that because the main focus today is Nitin Gadkari's statement. What has it really done towards the end? Vivek, I'm going to come to you now. What has Nitin Gadkari's statement done to the electoral prospects of Mahayuvati, according to you? And I'm going to conclude the program after this. Yes.
No, Nilu, I think the damage had already been done. Mr. Gadkari has only added some fuel to the fire. The damage was done by the Mahayuti itself. it should have been wise enough not to hand over the work of such an important thing to a novice, to a person who is not known to be a very prominent sculptor, so to speak. So they have made the mistake themselves. They are themselves to blame for it. Why blame Mr. Gadkari? Mr. Gadkari did expose them. And what is the game plan behind that? Why did he speak that out? I don't know. I mean, he has the habit of saying things which rub the BJP the wrong way, and this has happened many times in the past. So he has done it one more time, and another one more time he's going to blame the media for misinterpreting him. But he has said it in so many words, and it does hurt the Mahayuti in Maharashtra. Already,
No, but this damage
the
could be
Mahayuti.
irrevocable. But don't you think that this damage could be irrevocable, coming as it does at a time when the election dates are just to be announced? There's so much social protest all over just around this statue collapse.
Nilu, I think the damage has already been done. When the statue fell down, the damage was done. Mr.
Hmm.
Gadkari only added fuel to the fire. That is what I said. So, main damage has been done by the leaders of Mahayuti itself, by doing a very shoddy work here. And they did not take enough care in case of a statue of someone who is revered by one and all in Maharashtra, and which could be very, very damaging. If something goes wrong, it could be very, very damaging. They should have known this before, but still they went ahead in a very casual manner. They awarded this work to a person who was inexperienced, and there was a whole lot of corruption in helipad making also, that some of the reports in newspapers like Indian Express suggest. So, and over and above that, they have done another one big damage, which now many people in Maharashtra are talking about. And the statue had a scar on Shivaji's forehead, and there's no statue in the world of Shivaji has a scar on its forehead. This is the only statue where the sculptor chose to create a scar on his face, and then the explanation that he gives is that it was a scar caused by the sword of Afzal Khan, who tried to kill Shivaji when Shivaji met Afzal Khan. Actually, the hurt was caused by the bodyguard of Afzal Khan, whose name was Kulkarni. And Mr. Apte says that it was not Kulkarni who hit Shivaji, it was Afzal Khan who hit Shivaji. So he's trying to bring in some Brahminical concept also in this whole story of Shivaji. And that is where I think the hurt has been increased manyfold, and people are now talking about this particular aspect more than the fall of the statue. So
Right.
they are themselves doing the damage. Nobody is asking them to do. They are doing the damage to themselves by doing such stupid things. So I think they are themselves to blame. Mr. Gadkari has hit the nail on the head. He has added fuel to the fire. He has already fixed the responsibility, and the inquiry commission will have to take cognizance of what Mr. Gadkari is saying. If they don't, I think then the people of Maharashtra will know who is to be blamed for what happened in the case of Shivaji statue. So I think there are many more surprises to come when the inquiry gets completed. Whose heads are going to roll, that we will see, and then finally the story will come out. Nilu.
And beyond all this, I think what I'm waiting for is that what are the repercussions which Mr. Gadkari now will have to face after making a statement like that in Maharashtra
I
and
don't think
also at the
I
central
don't think
leadership level.
Nilu, I don't think he will face any repercussions, because he's done that
Yeah,
many times before and nothing has
right.
happened to him.
So let's wait and watch and see how the things unfold. I'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Mr. Krishna Hegde, Pushparaj, Vivek. It was wonderful having all of you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: subscribe to our channel, send us a feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal.